Welcome everyone, this is Halvak. In today's Java tutorial, we will actually begin looking or exploring Java object-oriented, the actual concepts, what we would call the OO concept. So let's begin. In the past few tutorials, you have actually been exposed to OO concepts, but probably have not realized that. So for example, on the browser here on my right of my screen, you've actually used Scanner before, right? And every time you actually use Scanner, you instantiated a new object. You created a new object, and this object, after you created, you actually invoked its method. For example, you used a lot of time, you've invoked using the dot operator, next int, and it's got other methods as well. We can if we actually scroll down. Okay, so you notice that there's something called constructors here, and when you actually use the new keyword, so let me just scroll back up. So this here, this part here, when you actually use new Scanner and give it an argument, we're actually calling the constructor. So we're creating a new object and initializing it. Okay, so let's go down here, and you notice that there's many types of constructors here. Okay, the one we actually use is actually this one. So you can actually read input from a file, but what we tend to do in the past few tutorials is we actually just use it from standard in, right? And this is the input screen. Okay, so and you notice that we call it system.in, right? So if I actually go to another class, okay, so this is the Scanner class that we're in right now. If I actually go down to system here, all right, and you notice that if I go back, all right, the type that it takes is input stream. Okay, so if I go to system, and when we go to system and we say system.in, one of their fields is actually input stream. And look at this, in. So when we call it system.in, we're actually passing in this particular argument here. Okay, we'll cover in more detail what the static keyword means later on. Okay, so let's go back to to Scanner, sorry, and notice that there's a lot of methods. Okay, and the one we use most often in the past is actually next int, right here. Okay, so you have been exposed to OO, but you probably have not realized that you've done that. Okay, so today we're actually going to create our own class, our custom class, similar to Scanner, right? Well, a lot less complex, but nevertheless, we're going to create a class and actually create an object or instantiate an object and invoke the class's methods. Okay, so let's just get started. Okay. So right here, I've actually we're going to create something called the Gradebook class. Okay, and already here, I think I need to refactor. You see that my ID is different. I'm just trying IntelliJ's ID. You can actually get a license for this as well. All right. So let's change. We're going to create a Gradebook class. Okay, so that's what we're going to do. All right, and then let me show you where the source is. All right, so I have other projects there as well. Okay, so here we are. I have a class called Gradebook. Okay, and what we're going to do is that we're going to have one instance variable. Okay, an instance variable is just, you can think of it as an attribute that belongs to the class. And because we're creating a gradebook can have a course name. Okay, so here you notice that we tend to, before in the past, use main, right? But this time we're actually going to create the gradebook itself. So I'm going to get rid of that. When we actually create or instantiate the object, we're going to have to call it from the main method. And we'll do that later on. Okay, so let's start off here's my method. Again, for the time being, we'll cover more of the keywords private, but for now, let's just concentrate on the attribute itself. So let's call it course name. Okay. All right. So you notice that I didn't initialize it. Okay. Now, the initialization is going to occur inside of the constructor. All right. So the purpose of a constructor is to create the object and actually initialize newly created objects. All right. Again, I'm just gonna give us a public. Again, all these keywords, you just have to take, for the time being, ignore it. All right, and then call it name. All right. All right. So this gradebook actually takes has a parameter, right, and it's a string type. Okay. So what we're going to do is when we create our gradebook, we want to assign the name to course name, right? Its attribute. Okay. And we'll see how we're going to use that later. And you notice a constructor has the same name as the class, right? It has the same name as the class, and you notice there's no return type. You can think of a constructor as a special type of object, all right? What it does return is a newly created object. Okay. Now we're going to create another method, right? And this is very typical. These are called setter. This is called a setter method, okay? And a setter method usually it sets something, right? So here we're going to notice that it set course name. Okay, so the name is really intuitive, right? We're going to set this course name or change it if we want to. Okay, so let's do that. Okay, so course name. So put a name. So the lines may actually look the same, but remember, this is a constructor. It creates a new object and returns that new object. We're just initializing with the course name. Here, we can actually, what we're doing is that we already have an object, but we're just going to change its course name by calling or invoking the set course name method there. Now let's create another method, and this time we're going to actually get the course name. Okay, so notice that my return type now is a string. Gets the course name. Okay, and because you're getting a course name, we don't really need any parameters here. All right, because what you're interested in is the return. You want to return the course name, right? And it's, of course, is a string type. Okay, so we have that. Now I'm gonna create a last one. An additional. Let's call it display message. Right. And in the display message, we're going to just display the course name. Okay. Okay, we're going to do it this way. Welcome. Stop. Welcome to the grade book for. Alright, so I'm just going to do this. I'm just going to take a string. Okay. And well, we just end it there like that. Okay. Now, so we're going to need the name. So what we're going to do is we're gonna invoke the get course name. Okay. We really don't have to do that here, but it's just for demonstration. You can actually, because we're inside of the class itself, we can access the course name itself. But we'll use the get course name just to demonstrate that. All right. So so for example, if I take this out and just go course name, all right. See, I don't get any mistakes, right? All right, but we'll keep it the way before. All right. So now that we've created the gradebook, in our next tutorial, we're going to actually instantiate or create an object of a gradebook type and see how we can invoke methods. Okay. So I'll see you in the next video lecture. Thanks for listening.